turkey I've ever seen right there. Well, deer season is upon us, and on this week's episode, I head to Kentucky to hunt the early season in hopes of getting an opportunity at my first Kentucky velvet whitetail.
Turkey Hunter is brought to you by Browning, the best there is. Knights Hunting Products, makers of the hands-free hunting vest. Legacy Premium Game Calls, it's not luck, it's legacy. Indian Creek Shooting Systems, makers of the Black Diamond Strike. Browning Trail Cameras, the most innovative trail cameras in the industry. Strut No More turkey totes. Get a grip on them.
Well, Kenny and I just rolled into the Bluegrass State and we're excited about it. Been practicing all summer running trail cameras, and we got some good shooters showing up here in the state of Kentucky. It opens this weekend. We're gonna get here, check cameras, and kind of see what's showing up where, to see where we're gonna hunt in the morning. And we got all weekend, so these deer hadn't been messed with. You're catching them in that late summer feeding pattern, which is awesome. You can bait here in Kentucky, so they're coming to these corn piles. We do have some crops to hunt as well, but if these deer are showing up at these bait stations, we're gonna hunt them. We're gonna get here, get settled in, and see where to hunt in the morning, and I'm fired up about it. Kentucky, here we come. That's one of our main targets right there, and he's still in the velvet as of yesterday. All right, guys, I think Kenny and I know where we're gonna sit in the morning. We know where we want to sit in the afternoon. We got a plot down here in the bottom, clover plot, that the deer hit before easing out into the crops, and we got 3 or 4 shooters hitting that, but the same 3 or 4 shooters are hitting this timber of a morning, and this is just an easier place to access of a morning. Basically, this is just a high spot right here. These deer are coming out of the crops up the side of this hill and filtering back through this timber to bed of a morning, but this is a good spot. We're gonna hunt this in the morning. We're gonna bait it up real good. Hang a tree arm. We got a good set right here. We'll show it to you here in a minute. And I'm gonna trim some lanes. Kenny's rigged me up a pole saw here. It's always good to have some electric tape. So we're gonna trim some limbs, get it where we can shoot in the morning, get out of here, and come in here in the morning. Hopefully we'll get a shot at the Kentucky buck. Well, now we know where we want to hunt in the morning, so Kenny and I head back to the lodge to do some last-minute practicing. Well, it's nice this morning. Opening day of Kentucky season. We're excited. Stand's ready to go. Everything's ready to rock. We just got to go get in the stand. So that's what we're fixing to do. Fingers crossed. Good luck this morning on the opener. Well, we make it to the stand and get everything set up, and just as we start getting filming light, deer start coming out of the woodwork. As the morning progresses, Kenny taps me on the shoulder to let me know there's a nice deer coming in behind us. Is that the Well, this is a great deer. He's just a little young. We have Browning trail cam pictures of older deer in this area, so we lay off the trigger on this guy. Well, as we're watching this beautiful 3-year-old, another buck slips in under us. And at first glance, I start to grab my bow, but as the deer steps out, I realize he's not one we're after. Another beautiful deer, but I know one of these older deer could step out at any moment. It's so cool being close to these critters. Kenny and I are hid way up in this tree, and the wind is in our favor, so this buck doesn't have a clue. So Kenny and I just sit back and enjoy the show. Well, as this buck starts to leave, Kenny looks over my shoulder and spots a big deer coming across the field. Look at that. That's freaking awesome. Look at that. That's freaking awesome, dude. That's our deer. Maybe he'll come up here. As this buck eases into the woods, my heart sinks because my immediate thought is he's going to take this draw and head to bed up for the day. Well, a few minutes go by and he's headed right back out of the woods, and it looks like he's going to angle right to us. Come back out. He's coming. He's going to come. Kenny has a big deer, dude. You can tell he's a dominant buck. Look at him whooping over, licking, making screams. Hit him out of the belly. This buck finally starts heading in our direction, and as he does, my heart rate just goes through the roof because I know I'm about to get a shot. I'm gonna shoot him when I get a chance. Got him. Smoke, baby. Watch him, watch him, watch him, watch him, watch him, watch him. Watch him, Sam. Oh my gosh, that was freaking incredible. I cannot believe that just happened the way it did. Oh, thank you, good Lord in heaven. That's fine. I was tore up like it was my first buck. Look, when he was out there making that, look at them does out there. When he was out there making that scrape, I'm like, is he really doing all that right now? I don't know if he knew this buck was here. Did you see his ears laid back when he seen that buck? My knees, look, are going. I just don't. I'm trying to absorb all this. A lot of times it happens fast, but we got very lucky and we got to watch that deer come across that field, make a scrape, put on a show. You could tell he was just a dominant fella, and he come up here, ears laid back, his mind left him, gonna push his young 8-point off. And I just, he was perfect broadside. I stopped him perfect. Sent it home, bub. Sent it home. Oh. That's good stuff. I think I just killed my first velvet buck. Look right here. Dude, I just walked right up. He didn't like literally went out of sight. Look at this deer, dude. Look at that buck, guys. That's a good deer, brother. Well, here he is, guys. We found him. He didn't go far. Right where we heard him crash is where he fell. He actually fell in a hole right here, which is pretty crazy. I mean, literally out of sight, and he fell over dead. But the plan came together, and in the craziest way, you know, and that's just hunting sometimes. It never works out like you think it will, but today everything seemed to just line up perfectly, and we were just about ready to give up. We had 2 deer. They weren't shooters, you know. One was a 4.5, one was a 3.5. It just needed another year. This deer here is 5.5 years old, and pretty much this is all he's gonna be. You know, he's got short eye guards and stuff like that, but nonetheless, he's a great deer. He's massive. A deer you need to take, one of our hit list deer, and he put on a show. I mean, this deer acted like they do, like a typical dominant buck does, but like they do pre-rut, rut. I mean, he comes out and hits a licking branch, and then he starts making a scrape, throwing dust up. It was awesome. It was incredible, really. And we had a small 3-year-old under us, and I don't think this guy could see him till he got closer, but as he closed the distance, he saw him and he throwed them ears back, and it was just like a straight line right to him, and he come through my shooting lane. I stopped him, just made a great shot, and he didn't go 45 yards. This is my first Kentucky velvet buck, and I couldn't be more proud of him. It's a great deer, and I can't wait to see what he looks like on the wall. We got some good deer meat, we got a beautiful velvet rack, and we got a field Kentucky tag. Just life is good, let me tell you, life is good. What a buck.